Most people are not aware of the fact that every single second you're instantly becoming a completely new version of who you are. And I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how to shift between different parallel versions of you instantly. And when I say instantly, I literally mean instantly, because you can shift into a completely new version of yourself that has nothing to do with who you used to be, even like I'm gonna say a month ago and a year ago, but even a minute ago, even 2 seconds ago, a second ago, who you were has nothing to do with who you are right now, because you can shift your state of consciousness. You can shift into a new version of yourself where that problem from that previous level of consciousness no longer applies to you, or at least that embodied challenge, the energy of the challenge. Maybe there's still lingering aspects of that challenge, but you can get so far out of that reality that that trauma, that issue, that emotional baggage you were holding on to is literally a thing of the past. And not only is it a thing of the past, but you can get to a version of yourself where you change the past version of yourself, where you never even had that problem to begin with. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how you can do this. This is going to be how to shift between different parallel versions of you instantly. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell, because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video. It's also going to be in the comments of this video as well. Now, the first thing that I want to share with you is to keep in mind that, well, this is something that I encourage you to do, is just to be open to the possibility that these versions of you actually exist, that they're actually real. Because if you're closed off and you're contracted and you just think that you're a limited human being, that you're a dense human being, and that these versions of you don't exist, and that what I'm saying doesn't really matter and it's not true, you're already setting yourself up for failure in regards to how to shift into these different versions of yourself, because you might believe that your identity is static. But the truth is that your identity is not static. It's very dynamic. You're a dynamic, free-flowing, free spirit where, again, what you're embodying now, yes, has something to do with your past vibrations, because what you're seeing now is actually technically a result of the past energies you've embodied. But who you choose to be in this present moment is not defined by who you used to be. It's one of those cliche sayings that you hear, like, oh, your past doesn't define who you are. But the reason why these these cliche sayings go viral and why it's so popular in society is because they're true. They have an existential truth. The existential truth is that your past literally literally has nothing to do with who you embody now. Quite literally, it has nothing to do with who you are. Not going to re-record this video. With who you are right now. It literally has nothing to do with who you are now. So what can happen is that you can start to become conscious that you don't need to be looking at the past to say to yourself, this is who I am now. We're going to get more into this in just a moment here, but the first thing that I encourage you to do is just be open that these versions of you actually exist. Are you open to the possibility that a version of you exists where you never even had that issue to begin with, that challenge to begin with? Because what we can do is, from a denser state of consciousness, we can push and try to figure out so many problems, where I've had so many times where I just let go of an issue. I just kind of let it go. I didn't think about it. I didn't worry about it. And then it resolved itself somehow. It's almost like not almost. It sounds crazy. I was in disbelief, but I literally, it's at the time it seemed like which is exactly what happened, like I shifted into a reality where that issue no longer was a thing. So I remember when I was in Costa Rica, and there was like this rule where you had to go be in a hotel if you come back from Costa Rica back into Canada, which is where I live. And then I set an intention before I left that, you know what, it's going to figure itself out. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to focus on it. I'm not going to give it too much energy. And then surprise, surprise, 2 days before I left Costa Rica, it's like the rule has been removed. Just totally let go. I check my phone. It's like, yeah, you don't have to stay in a hotel anymore. I was able to go straight back to my place, and I didn't have to stay in the hotel. And it was weird because I didn't even do this on purpose. I didn't really put too much attention to it. I didn't like think about it. I just kind of loosely, just naturally, as a result of my energy and just alignment with my flow, I just like, yeah, you know what? I'll just send attention. It'll figure itself out. I'm not going to worry about it. And then there it was, and it happened in that way. So what I'm thinking is that I shifted into a version of myself where that issue no longer was a thing. And you can see this a lot. And by the way, what's happening is that you can be in a room with other people and they're literally in different realities. You're embodying a different reality. You're in a different state of consciousness. And it doesn't really matter what's happening around you because the circumstances don't matter. You can be in your own co-creative reality. Now, eventually you can get to a point where you're so in your own reality that you literally, you won't merge with certain energies and it just won't happen. But you can still be connecting with other people's realities where they are not at the same level of vibration as you, which is not better or worse, just different. But still you're in that energy. But anyways, I'm kind of going off track here. I just want you to be open to the possibility that these versions of you exist. Now, the second thing that I want to share with you is to understand that there are infinite versions of you and they all exist now. So simultaneously, these versions of you where you're in a more dense state, where you have all these problems, that version of you exists now. There's another version of you that exists where you weren't even in that dense state to begin with, and those dense vibrations never affected you, and they were never an issue, and you didn't have to ever deal with them. But again, you're not going to really care from that higher level of consciousness because you see like, oh yeah, that was just a game that I was playing, and that's just something I participated in, which I didn't realize at the time, but I participated in that for fun, just to play the game. Because the reason why we go into denser states is because we have fun with it. Like, that's the truth of reality. Everything is a choice at a universal level. And when you go into those lower states, it's a game, it's for fun. Life is meant to be a play, life is meant to be fun. Even if it doesn't seem like it, we choose it. So I encourage you to start to open yourself up to these different versions of you and honor the simultaneity of all these different levels of awareness, all these different aspects of you, and understand that they all exist now, and you can shift into these versions of you now, and you don't even need to be forcing anything. All you got to do is just, first of all, be open to it, and already being open to it will already kind of shift you into alignment into these versions of you, and you'll become conscious of them as they happen. You'll see like, wait a second, actually, I'm not even realizing what's happening. I didn't realize, but you may have even already done this in the past many times, and maybe without even realizing it, you're just kind of doing simple things. This happens to me when I go for walks outside, because I guess the best version of me likes to go for a lot of walks. So I'm walking outside and I'm just like, whoa, I feel a different energy. I'm not the same person I was when I left the house, when I left the home, and it's like, well, I can feel that. You can sense it. Your awareness might become more alert, more heightened, more aware. Things feel different. People act different. The rules are different. The circumstances even change a little bit as a result of your energy, and you want to be open that all these exist now. So right now you can be embodying a certain version, and 2 seconds later you're in a different version of yourself, and you can play that simultaneity and go back and forth. Now, the third and final thing that I want to share with you, which is just kind of like the groundwork for you, foundationally, knowledge-wise, but the final thing that I want to share with you to conclude this video is what you want to do on a consistent basis is always do things that expand your identity, that expand who you are. Because here's the thing, that version of yourself has different habits, has different behaviors, has different patterns. And if you're going to be living in the same patterns, doing the same things that you've already been doing, it's going to be hard for you to shift out into a different version of yourself. This is why typically you enter these versions of yourself on accident when you do something that you've never done before, and on accident you're like, whoa, I feel so new. Maybe you're on vacation, maybe you go on a different trail on the walk that you usually go on. You had to take a different trail. Maybe you decide to do something that you've never done before, and then you feel a new energy. That's because you're expanding your identity. That's what life wants. Life doesn't want you to stay static. Again, you're a dynamic being that likes to expand and get out of its comfort zone. You don't want to be comfortable. So what you want to do is do something that expands your identity. Take different actions, do different things, put yourself in different environments that you've never been in before. This can be incredibly useful to shift you into different versions of yourself, because what you'll start to notice is that version of you has different habits and different behaviors, and the only way really to find out is to have an exciting thought and then go take action on it. And I'm not saying it has to be hard. In fact, when you're in that new identity, because you're in a new identity, that version of you already has the patterns and behaviors, and it's actually effortless. A lot of times, the expansive new things that you think are going to be so uncomfortable actually feel more effortless than the denser states that you were worried that it would be so hard to go take that action and go do that thing. Because the dense states implies you're not there, you're working really hard, you have to do all this work. But when you're in a higher version of you, you can get to the point where you already have those habits, you already have that, you're already embodied, you already are that version of you, and actually it's effortless. It's completely effortless. Oftentimes the things that I was really worried about that I thought would be so hard, it's more effortless to be aligned with who I am that may be looking like it's harder. Like, for example, it's easier for me to be in alignment with taking tons of action and recording videos and being aligned with my purpose than being stagnated, being stuck, getting nothing done and not getting any work done whatsoever. Why is that? Why is it easier to be in alignment where it may be perceived from other people's point of view, oh, he's working so, not me, but anybody that's aligned. It's like, it doesn't have to be just anybody could be doing this. If you're aligned and there's somebody else looking at it from the outside, it might look like, well, why is this person seemingly working so hard, but they're getting so much done? Not working hard in the sense that they're resisting anything, but they're getting so much done. They're getting so much done, so much action taking, yet it seems like they're not really struggling, right? Whereas another person might be not taking a lot of action, not getting a lot of work done, but there's a lot of internal struggle. That's because when you're in a different version of yourself, the struggle is not there anymore. And actually what's happening is that it's very effortless to be taking action on what you prefer, because again, that version of you may already have those habits and those behaviors. And if so you apply these three things, what you notice is that your reality will start to shift in a way that you've never been able to see before. Things happen very fast and things accelerate, and you notice that your manifestations come in a lot faster, and honestly, life becomes a lot more magical, okay? And it becomes pretty epic. And with that, I conclude this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. It's also going to be in the comments of this video as well. Also, please hit that like button for me so that more people can get access to this content, because I do believe that every single person on this planet does deserve to know that they are the creators of their reality, and they can manifest their reality and do so in the most effortless and easy way possible, help themselves and help others in the process. And hitting that like button does help the YouTube algorithm push the videos out to more people, and that would be greatly appreciated. Also, leave a comment down below if you want to share anything. I read every single comment, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.